Welcome back to Ask the Attorney. I'm Amy Rao-Mohan here with Kevin Kennedy from the Kennedy Law Firm in Clarksville. Already gotten a lot of questions. We got some family law, criminal law.
Yes. You know, Amy, I've got to say this. You know, when we go off the break, Amy gets smarter and smarter all the time, and I'm trying to evaluate how did she get so smart in all these?
From this show.
I think so too. It's beginning because one of the things about teaching everybody, you know, all your tricks. Pretty soon they know your tricks, and then they can use them against you.
Hello, come in.
Hello, come in. She's real good.
Yeah.
Really good.
And we'll make sure you call that number at the bottom of your screen, 737-plus, 737-7587. We've got Eileen here. Hi, Eileen.
Hi, I wonder if I could ask two questions, two different subjects. I'll try to keep it short.
Okay.
First one has to do with the way one of your competitors conducts business. I won't mention any names or anything like that. Second is an intellectual property question.
Okay.
One of this law firm, I'm sure that everybody knows who I'm talking about without my mentioning it. They do have an office in Tennessee, but they're a national firm and they do quite a bit of advertising, and they solicit sometimes what appear to be almost like class action situations. And one of them had to do with the Takata airbag situation, and being personally involved in that and involved in an accident involving one of the airbags. I responded to one of their ads indicating that they might be able to get recovery for me. And, of course, the number you call is not the local office. It's the call center.
Yep.
And then when you speak at the call center people, there's no way to talk with an attorney right at that time. They basically, I guess, have an attorney call you back or whatever. And they sent me some forms to represent me, just I guess you'd call it the authorization letter or whatever. And they also asked for, I would say, blanket permission for medical records. And I wanted to modify that. I wanted to say I want to give permission for medical records from the day of the accident onward, and then if they take this on and they are looking into it and they discover that they really need medical records from before that date, you know, I'd be happy to furnish them.
Right. I think what's happened to you on that situation is alarm. I'm always reluctant to take one of these cases where you don't get to talk to the lawyer, and if you get the voicemail, I hate to sign things because it gets down. They used to say, Kevin, what kind of lawyer would you hire? Would you hire a really experienced lawyer, but he's so busy he doesn't have time? Or do you hire a young lawyer? He's got plenty of time, but he has no experience. My response, and to you, ma'am, and thank you for calling, is I'd hire the lawyer I could trust. And if I can't really talk to him, I'm reluctant about signing his papers, because somewhere down the road, where are those papers going to be used? So I'm and I just wouldn't do that for my children. I wouldn't have her do it, and I wouldn't recommend you to do it either.
All right, what is your second question about IP? Eileen, are you still there? I'm sorry, Eileen, are you there? Oh, okay, sorry. All right, Eileen, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah, second question has to do with intellectual property. I'm currently writing a book with, basically ghostwriting a book, if you're familiar with that term.
Yes, yes.
For a celebrity. And he didn't want to pay me outright, so I had to do some negotiation to get something that basically worked on the copyright end. You know, I'm getting a pretty good percentage of the copyright, and if this thing turns into a book, into a movie or something like that, then, you know, that's great. So, because I do have a share of that and whatever.
Yeah.
My question is that we had this contract, and it took months to work out, so I was pretty careful about what I wanted to sign and didn't want to sign and whatever.
Yes.
And he's got someone that is interested in publishing it. Now, you can say, well, he's just feeding you a line or something. I know who this individual is. He is a multimillionaire, and he's got different properties, and
yes.
I checked in. He's in good standing with everything that he does. So, but my question comes down to, at some point, if we decide to go that route, that rather than a traditional publisher, and
yes.
he's not interested in self-publishing and all of that, then this guy is, this third party, we'll say, is this gentleman, my co-writers, if you want to call it that, friend. So how do I know you're going to tell me to go see an intellectual property attorney, but what are the pointers that in any contract?
Okay, here's your pointers. We'll start off with the old saying, a good understanding keeps down a misunderstanding. And I like books. I've published 5 books in my career, and So I know a little bit about self-publishing. I know a little bit about publishing. And I like to go back. Who are the people we're doing business with? One of the things that I think I've learned most about being a lawyer is, can I really trust Amy? You can't make a good deal with a bad man. So if I know Amy's been in the publishing business and I've got these works and it's taken me years to write these books and I own the copyright, you see, that's one of the first things I'd suggest to you is make sure you own the copyright to your work at the Library of Congress. And you know, I had some guys working for me and we were working on projects, and one of them came back and they had their name on one of my applications, which is fine, but I wanted to make sure I owned all of my copyrights for those books. Somewhere down the road, we will sell those and go on. So again, I don't really like to do business with people that wouldn't really be in the business, because there's so many loopholes. You definitely need to see the intellectual properties. But I'd go back and say, here's what I'm going to do. Are you going to put up $100,000? If you are, I'll own the copyright. We could have that as an understanding, and that you're going to publish 100,000 copies of this book, and they'll be distributed with these. A good understanding. What are you going to do for me? And you know, under my first book, I sold the front cover of the book to a multimillionaire. Didn't know him. Didn't know that much. I was a young lawyer, and I sold the front cover of the book, and I'd asked him a big fee, and he said, "I'll call you tomorrow." And I remember I said this. I said, this book will be around long after you and I are gone. And so he made an offer, and he offered me a real substantial fee to put him on the front cover. And I said, well, we made a deal, sir. And he said, well, where do you want me to send the check? He never asked for a contract. Wow. And I knew he was a big leaguer. And so we just had a gentleman's agreement.
And did it work out? It
worked out perfect, and the book sold. In fact, that book is sells on eBay right now for $355. When they come up, they're all out of print, and so $355. So that's very interesting. I should have kept more copies, but that's what made it more valuable when they became the collector series. Yeah. And so my other books. One is in about 150 law schools around the nation. That book was divorced through the eyes of a Christian lawyer, and I was proud of that. But I didn't know that much, but I asked a lot of questions. So again, what did I say? Work on it. A good understanding keeps down a misunderstanding.
All right. We're going to take Nancy here, because Nancy, I apologize. I think I hung up on you earlier. Good evening, Nancy.
Hi there.
Hi.
I'm going to try to make this as short as possible.
All righty. Go right ahead.
My mother passed away in 2009. And before she passed, my son had went and asked, our house was paid for. I lived with her. So he got a loan for $300,000.
Okay.
Well, at the meantime, his wife worked at a bank, and she went in and forged my mother's name and got another $300,000.
Okay.
To the loan. And bless my mom's heart, she didn't know that she had done that.
Yes.
And they went out and bought 60 acres in another state.
Oh.
And when I thought they were still making payments on the house that was supposed to be, it was, you know, in, my mom had made out a will, and it was supposed to come to me. I did go and register it with the court.
Now, have they foreclosed on the house now?
Yes, sir. They did foreclose.
Okay. Well, first off, you know, the $300,000 that she forged, and that's a fraud. I think a person could advance and say that was a forgery. You may have to hire an attorney and fight that with the bank. I think you could beat that, and then you really wouldn't owe that money. Now, the first money that she agreed to, even if they diverted those funds or converted those funds, you still probably have a problem with that. But fraud, they could prosecute them with the state attorney general and go see the district attorney and prove that she forged that instrument, and she could be arrested and go to prison over it. They could also make it a condition of her probation, if they were to give her probation, restitution. And so she's got a real problem on having to pay that money back.
All right, well, we are going to take a quick break, but we'll be back with Kevin Kennedy right after this.